Hello, I hope that you have had a chance to watch our student video. This is a supplemental video for teachers and for those who are supporting this project. We've been doing this for a couple of years, and we know that as we've been developing what works, what doesn't quite work, that having a variety of communication methods to bring folks up to speed is important. So we hope that this helps you. Um, I would also say that we've now done it for several years with some schools, and it gets easier. So it feels really complicated and like there's lots of stuff going on, but actually the next time we come back and do it, and that's the vision, is that we do this, we learn some stuff, and then perhaps you build this in as part of your curriculum. And it becomes easier each time because you kind of know what you're doing. Our clinicians are excited to be able to support this as well because they get smarter as they go on as well. They figure out what this is all about. So keep your seatbelt buckled too, and we'll learn as we go. And there's a lot of variation that we can take in this direction depending on what your school's capacity is, what the students' capacity capabilities are. All of that is stuff that we can test and explore together. So here's this little supplemental video. Hopefully you understand kind of the arc of what we're trying to do now. We will ask of you, the hardest part of this project is actually getting the diary set. So finding those slots of time where those students are able to show up and be ready to learn is great. We find after school stuff doesn't really work. We've got a lot of dropouts, but doing it in a day is good. And of course, your school way better than we will ever know young people. So we'll take your advice on what the best time is. But trying to marry up your schedule with clinician's schedule is challenging. So we want to get those dates nailed in the diary, maybe even having an alternate or a backup date as well in case of illness. That's good. And then once it's locked into the diary, then things get a lot easier. We ask for you to prepare some printing in advance. We don't have big budgets here, so if you can do the printing for us, that's helpful. The things we ask you to print are for the community research work experience training. So there's a booklet that goes along, a reflective journal that we ask the students to complete as they go along. And this helps them keep track of their learning and also gives them an artifact at the end of the project to show their journey that they've been on and that kind of thing. We also have added some helpful things in that reflective journal that gives them some vocabulary around the processes that they're going through so they can draw on that. We found that we go back and talk to schools about the impact of this project. 100% of the kids who have gone through the project, who've then gone on to have an interview, have used this experience in an interview. So they've been able to kind of narrate the journey of what they've been on. So having that vocabulary, we think, is helpful, and we give that to them in the reflective journal. So doing that printing for us is helpful. We also ask for you to print the certificates on the other end of it. So, and if you want to, add the students' names and laminate and do that in a ceremony, that's great. But equally, we also can spend some time in the last session when they're presenting to colleagues to have them come up and get certificates then as well, and have our professional colleagues clap for them. That's great as well. So, a lot of this is about celebrating the students and giving them that sense of accomplishment. Right. A couple other things that we found is helpful. We have some schools that, we'll give you 4 touch points. So it's the community research training, and then touch point 1, 2, and 3 is with the clinicians. Touch point 1 is when we come in and brief the students and give them some insight into the clinical problem and give them develop the research questions with them. That's touch point 1. Touch point 2 is when we come back and listen to what the students have done in their research. And then touch point 3 is when we invite them into a clinical space, or we come into the school again, or we do it on a Zoom or Teams call to listen to their formal research. Obviously, some students are going to need some more support in that time. And so we ask for you to build that into your curriculum or into some sessions where you can work with those kids on refining some of their research questions, giving them some of the confidence that they might need to go have those conversations, and you giving that little bit of coaching and support. Um, we find that schools who don't add that extra support, it's fine. The kids do make it to the other end, but there have been some missed opportunities in refining and giving them the best experience that they can. So consider that probably one of the best schools that we've worked with. I shouldn't say best, but a school that was really organized. They did this as part of their health and social care um, curriculum, and they did it as a full term. So they basically had every class with those students, was some of it was dedicated to looking at the development of their community research. And then the program at the end where they came into the hospital was a nice kind of crowning feature to their project. They sent out letters to parents in advance telling them what the project was. We have a sample of that letter we can share with you to adapt with the dates and times and get the parents to sign. So there was some buy-in from them. So that's an idea. The other thing that might be helpful for you is to consider a topic that's important to you or the school or to the students in the group. Sometimes we have to just match up a clinician that has the capacity to work with your timetable. And so we kind of come up with a topic together. Sometimes we have clinicians who are very set on they want to do a topic that's important to them in their research. So we have, for example, one of um, our transplant surgeons likes to do this project periodically, and he likes to come and work with the kids on doing a bit of understanding about the perspectives of organ donation in their particular communities, and uses it as a chance to ask the students to go and spread important health messages about the importance of organ donation. And that's particularly important in Birmingham, where we have a lot of Black and Brown communities where we don't have the level of organ donors on our lists that support the population. So you can hear there's some kind of public health messaging um, and kind of campaigns that are kind of behind some of this work. So that's an example. We also have a lot of on-ramps with our midwives because they're interested in recruiting more midwifery. So if you have more to midwifery, I should say. So if you have a cohort of students who are largely interested in midwifery or nursing, we can do a project that focuses on that maternity area. Um, so lots of different on-ramps. If we could look at it from what are some of the biggest health issues we have in Birmingham. So we have diabetes, we've got pediatric oral health issues, we've got air quality issues that lead to asthma in children. So there are lots and lots of things that could be of interest to you as a group that we can match up potentially with a clinician who can help do some community research with you. One more example I'll give you is we have one school that's worked with us who sadly had a student die from an asthma attack several years ago. And so asthma has become a real learning point for that school and their kind of journey to healing beyond that terrible experience was to develop some asthma champions and then also do some focused community research work around asthma for their students. So there are lots of different ways that we can go with you choosing a topic, choosing a clinician. The clinician may bring some of their own things as well, and you kind of co-design that together. And we've been in situations where schools will want to have 3 or 4 topics for a group. The max number of students we say is about 50, which is a lot. But we also are trying to get maximum exposure to our clinicians. If they're coming in and spending time with your students, they want to have as big of an impact as they can for the amount of time that they're spending. So there's a little bit of, kind of matching up supply and demand here too. So I think that's all I'm going to say for now. We are on your team to support you making this the best it can be. Thank you for your commitment to printing and to communicating with us about getting the diary dates set. And I guess the final thing, touch point 3, sometimes we're able to make that happen in a hospital or in a clinical setting. There's obviously some paperwork that needs to be done to getting the kids ready and prepared and safe to come into a clinical environment. So being with us on that team is helpful, and getting that paperwork back in time is great. And I'm going to share a few photos with you as well to give you a little bit of inspiration. And these will be available for me to send to you, but I'll just narrate as we go along. So here is a slide of some of the impact from some of our colleagues who've participated in this. We have Dr. Chris Chiswell, who was our Director of Public Health at Birmingham Women's and Children's Hospital, doing a session for some health and social care students around many public health topics. Down on the right-hand corner, you can see him working with this group of students at Aston Manor Academy. And then we also have some students here at South End City College who shared their community research. Just to show you that they were in their classroom. We couldn't make the date to visit the hospital work, but you can see we had some professionals online who were delighted to listen to their presentation and receive their certificates and clap for them, even though it was done virtually. So we made that work as well. The next slide here, we have a couple of the presentations that were being given at Birmingham Children's Hospital. That's touch point 3. We have a couple of photos of, one photo here of the kids working in touch point 1, coming up with their questions. We have Lisa over here, who's one of our pediatricians, doing a bit of a selfie outside when the kids came to the Children's Hospital to do their presentations. We, of course, took the opportunity to give them a walk around and show them some of the places in the building where work takes place. And in this situation, Lisa did a little selfie with the kids as well, which just shows, just the personal nature of getting to know a clinician and feeling more connected and making, demystifying these careers, making them more accessible. So love that photo. And then in the bottom left-hand corner, this is touch point 2, where we had the students' feedback just really informally. We got them comfortable on a sofa in this situation, just chatting with the clinicians about what they learned. Yeah, and we've got one more page of photos here, but I'll email these through. These will come to you just as examples of other, to start to seed your imagination of what's possible. And yeah, we're just delighted you're on this journey with us, and we're here at your disposal to answer any questions as we go along the way. Thank you.